This is my reaction to the American Culture article that we were supposed to read, The Rituals Among the Nacirema by Minor. And really what it is it's just the author writing about America. It's just America spelled backwards. And the way that they depict American culture is like it's a small tribe coming from, a small area in the United States around Mexico all the way up to the Canadian Cree. And it's just talking about the American people, but making it sound like they are a tribe, which was really interesting, I thought, especially when it talks about like going to see the medicine man and you have to give gifts and other things like that, where you pay to go to a doctor, how they depicted dentists, and people getting cavities filled, and, people go and get their teeth cleaned, and talking about how they'll continue to do that and have them fill them with, things to fill cavities and whatnot, which I thought was really interesting. And it was just neat to read an article that made it seem like they weren't talking about citizens of the United States, but in reality they are. And I just thought that was neat. Some communication patterns or practices that are in the U.S. that some might find weird could be the way that we use social media now. Definitely, it's one way that people connect so much. I mean, a lot of people use dating apps and social media. A lot of people live through social media. Almost everybody I know uses Snapchat still, and we're in college now. And I just think it's interesting all the different ways that we use social media in the United States, and how it's like just popped up and became this huge thing of who has the most followers, who has this, who's doing this. And it's not like when you listen to your parents talk about when they were in high school and they're like, oh, I wonder what they're up to now. You can see all of the people you went to school with on social media pretty much, if they have it, and see what they're all up to still. Like Facebook, for example, they always have, updates on, someone can post an update like, oh, they just got engaged or they just got married. Just interesting things like that. And then just some things that have really changed over time. I would say technology has had a huge impact on the United States, and honestly the world too. But one of the big ways is communicating. I was sitting down with my grandpa the other day, and he was talking about how writing letters is just something that so many kids don't know how to do now. He talks about writing letters all the time back when he was in high school to his friends. It was unheard of. You couldn't just pick up a phone and talk. You had to write a letter, send it, wait, however long, and then you get your letter back. Unlike now, we're able to just it'll just fire off a quick text to someone halfway across the continent. I'm in Arizona right now, and my family's back in Alaska, and within seconds I can be on the phone with my mom, my dad, or my little sister, and talking to them, and we're in two separate states, over 3,000 miles away, but we're still able to talk to each other like we're sitting next to each other in the same room, which is just so crazy. And that's something that's really changed the way that we're able to do things now, especially when it comes to just being able to be connected. It just seems like one of the bigger changes over the past 100 years. You weren't able to talk on the phone with a relative who lived across the country. Heck, you probably didn't really even know a relative who lived across the country. You just kind of knew of them as the aunt or uncle that moved away, and you see them at family reunions and stuff like that. But now you can communicate with them. Like, I have family all over the United States, and I'm a text away from talking to any of them. And I just think it's really neat and honestly very beneficial nowadays, and I think it's great. There are some bad things about technology. Kids today grow up and they don't go outside and build forts, or just head out in the morning and not have a care and a worry in the world, and just go play outside, play in the woods, get dirty. and just really be kids and learn how to just have fun outside and mess around, go catch frogs, go fishing, go do so many other things that I remember at the first part of my childhood before like technology became really huge. I remember the first piece of technology I got was a Nintendo DS. And before that, my brother and I would go outside, we would play war, you'd play cops and robbers, or you'd do so many other things, which I think that's with technology, kids have lost that in a sense, and they're always able to get that instant gratification at their fingertips with technology, or they can constantly watch TV. I remember when I was little, I always liked to watch SpongeBob, and if SpongeBob wasn't on, I would go outside and play. It wasn't something that I could just pull up and watch. Now kids, they have it all at their fingertips, and it's very easy for them to access all these things. And it's just very interesting to see the differences between it. So I think that's one thing that has probably changed and been a little bit detrimental, but at the same time, for older people, it's very beneficial for working and other stuff like that. I mean, we can send emails, you can take work home with you, you can work remotely, especially with COVID coming about. That's one thing that everybody's been able to do, like taking this class online. We don't technically have to be in a classroom, but in a sense like a physical classroom, but we're on a virtual classroom, and we're able to communicate with each other, and we can all be across the United States. And one way, that is just one way that's been super beneficial of us to be able to get our college degrees, and we can do it all from behind a computer screen instead of having to attend a university and make sure that you're there nonstop. I mean, a lot of people are trying to work and get their college degrees at the same time, or they want to get their master's degree, and so they can't just uproot their whole family and life and make them live on a college campus. They're able to do it online, which I think is really awesome. And then the last thing that I'd like to mention was from the AmericanHeritage.com, and it's them talking about the internet and how great it's been able to help people, especially like businesses, bloggers, like when I talked about social media earlier. It's created a lot of career fields for people that didn't exist 30, 40 years ago because there just wasn't technology. It's created a huge business and multi-million-dollar empires just by media companies like TikTok or, Instagram or Twitter, all of them, Facebook, the first one, just huge now because of technology and the way it's advanced. So that's just one thing that I've found really interesting, and something that I thought was relatively neat when reading the American culture story, the body rituals among the Nacirema. So that's my video.